Hey Ma, do you know what bursts my bubble?
What burst your bubble?
Comedy and cruel comedy.
Well, yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think, obviously, there are radio shock jocks and shows where they do cruel jokes, for example. But I think if the jokes are one-sided and it's bullying and somebody's intentions are nefarious, the joke is quite simply not funny.
I agree, especially if it's not like some comedians will do what to themselves, and
I mean, for example, if the jokes are two-sided, like it's like a radio shock jock show and like the comedians are brutal and there's a back and forth, I think that's okay, that's appropriate. But if it's kind of one-sided and they're just brutally bullying and dehumanizing somebody, that's basically sadistic and evil,
Yeah, and you know what? They're not going to last because people don't like that kind of comedy.
No, that kind of comedy really makes people feel bad, and in fact, it often can become a tragedy, and it's just not even funny anymore.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It can just be despicable. And somebody said, obviously. Somebody said, obviously, sometimes people make jokes and, the jokes can be insensitive, but it's just a joke. It's just silly. Actually, there's truth to jokes. And if you ever noticed, people kind of confess what they're thinking based on the jokes they're telling. There is some, examples of really absurd humor, but, a lot of these comedians...
Well, their feelings and thoughts about it.
Yeah, basically, they're projecting their mindset based on a joke. Like they'll make a joke about, doing something sketchy to a woman, you know what I mean? And, you're like, I'm listening to this joke. Is this person projecting how he really feels? Is he really a bad person? It seems to me like this might be just a sketchy, white trash bad person. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Yeah, I shouldn't say white trash, but like a trash bad person. Not necessarily. Don't jump to the conclusion the person's white, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that there are bad people in every profession, but comedy. People tend to,
people tend to, throw their hands up and say, "Oh no, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing." It's like, no, you're being a bully. No, your joke is you're projecting how you feel, and there's truth to jokes. Let's say somebody makes a joke at the expense of somebody who's autistic or schizoaffective. And you're basically saying you think this guy's a loser. You're basically saying you think this guy's
they're
dehumanizing. You're basically saying you think this guy's a vegetable. So basically it's not funny. It's bullying.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. And humor is supposed to be enjoyed and lighthearted. It's not supposed to be cruel and vicious.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's a radio shock jock and the jokes are two-sided. But if you're victimizing one person, it's just at some point it's
one illness.
Oh, at some point it's just a bullying, sadistic kind of thing that just isn't funny.
It isn't funny.
And that is what it is.